Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of our Salem by Night Chronicle. I am the Ravenous Archon. My name is Will, and I'll be a storyteller this evening. And last we left off with our Camarilla crew, we were running around sans Kathy. We have her back, so we'll see what new trouble we can get into with her around. But we opened up with the introduction of Barnaby Joseph Jones, Ivory Larson's sire, and we got to see him chatting with Benjamin and just kind of like how connected those two are. And we got to see that he is a loving sire, unlike other normal vampire sires. He brought a bouquet of flowers for his childer. He was very excited and congratulated her on becoming keeper of Elysium. He tried to hold her hand as often as possible, and just overall being reassuring to the point of being nauseating. Carl did not immediately notice that there was an off vibe between Ivory and Barnaby, because not everything that glitters is gold. But Benjamin did come over and hand them the note that they got from Erickson's message about adding the three knuckleheads from the Sabbat pack to the Blood Hunt list. And Barnaby also revealed one of Ivory's previous names that Carl did catch, but made a note to ask about later. And established that in mixed company, Barnaby is a different kind of person compared to what he is behind closed doors. But the elder Toreador revealed that he was from around the world and hung around romantic cities, preferring to travel when he could. And mentioned that he didn't get to see Vienna the way that Tremere did, which kind of, I don't know if Chad the player clocked that, but I know that was a reference to how informed he is about the events of the world. They got to see him kind of being who he is, which is just a Toreador wanting to be the center of attention. And they took him over to see Otis at the offices, where he used his his awe on Timmy Compton, the doorman at the office building, which, is a no-no. But they got to see John Coulson and Otis kind of going through their paperwork. And Geraldine showed up after being called to handle her childer, which she did with a bit of a grimace, but she evidently knows how to handle him as best as possible. And once they disappeared, Ivory and her coterie and Carl got to talking about Grant Reynolds and how they tracked him to Kaiser, how they left Sheriff Green to handle the situation. And they got to see a drawing from a journal that John Coulson had of Eugene Stanton, and they let him know that this was not the man that they saw. And Coulson let them know then that he has been playing with flesh crafting that the Tzimisce have taught him. So they told him, he let them know that that made him even more dangerous, and that he was a member of House Goretrix, which Carl kind of knew what that meant more than Ivory. But after the meeting, they took the long way around to go back to the club. And as Ivory returned to her own place before parting ways, Carl had a fogged over handwriting appear in his mirror that said, "Herr Doctor, I have discovered something terrifying. Call me when you can." And it was signed Juliet Rabot, which is the name of his sire. And after a heavy wipe, the message cleared and the mirror cracked, which left him a little befuddled and led him to believe that somebody was listening in on their conversation. And that brought us back to Ivory's apartment, where she had her own kind of cleansing ritual to get rid of her sire's lingering scent. And we left off with them in their respective shower scenes with their appropriate musical interludes. But we're going to be picking up that same night, on Friday, it's good to see your faces, everybody. We're going to be picking up with Kathy herself. We are at your apartment. Teddy is reading a book. There are 5 cats just meandering around the living room. Walk us through how you have set up your apartment. I'm assuming it's a 1-bedroom. It's on the edge of the Willamette River, cheap up north near the Kaiser area. But as Tulip is about to knock, what do we see? Paint the picture for us.
So her one little bedroom apartment is more so for just sleeping and eating. It doesn't really serve a purpose outside of that because Kathy's normally out and about. So you'll see like a mattress on the floor, you'll see clothes scattered here and there. But what is very telltale is that every single like toy for cats can be seen. You have like the finest cat food packed in the pantry next to like Cheerios. And their litter boxes are like little domes of just pure awesomeness because she basically takes care, like that's her family to her. So she tries to make them feel very welcome. Outside of that, you have like a torn up couch that is usually sit on a nice armchair that she bought, and the rugs are pretty much like shaggy in nature. It's clean, but it's messy.
There's a soft knock, and Tulip lets herself in. I'm assuming that you've given her a key.
Yeah.
And she kind of looks in. She makes sure that you're decent, and she slinks in. We didn't see you at Elysium tonight. So I'm here to deliver some bad news. You want to sit down for this?
Kathy is in the process of like sitting down. She has stuff in her hand because she had just gotten off work. So she's like in the process of taking off the little apron that she uses when she bartends. And so she kind of just like falls down. She goes, "What's up?"
And she comes over. She puts her hand on Teddy's shoulder. We just found out that Grant Reynolds killed Manny. Otis on the warpath. So things are going to get worse before they get better.
Kathy goes really quiet. And it's almost like she becomes still. She opens and closes her mouth a few times. And she goes, "Well, wait."
Yeah, and she comes over. She
How?
sits on next to you. We don't know. Marcus came in with a torn sleeve from a Hawaiian shirt with a pair of fangs to deliver the message that Grant Reynolds said they were even now.
And we're sure they're his fangs?
We're pretty sure. John can't sense Manny.
Do we know the last location he was at? Or?
We have to assume that he was taken out yesterday or the day before, sometime within the last couple of days. But the way Manny had been gearing up for something, I gotta assume that he went in thinking he had it under control.
Does this have anything to do with the spectacle from the last Elysium?
I mean, there's been so many since New Year's. Otis has been really good about making himself available to people. He's really different from what Hyde was as a prince. But I think this is gonna push him into some dark territory. Manny and Otis.
I know. So what's Otis deciding to do?
He's called the Blood Hunt on Grant Reynolds. So I feel like we're gonna have to go talk to Garrett and Theo. Are you up for a drive?
She goes to the table, she picks up a notebook and pen, she puts it, she ties up her hair, puts the pen inside, along with her little metal clip, says, I'm ready when you are.
And Teddy comes over and he hugs you. I am going to go to Kaiser and start asking questions.
I thought you were coming with us.
No. This is clean business. I go to Kaiser. I talk to Reynolds. I talk to Marcucci, and I ask what happened to Manny.
She grabs a bag, puts some cat food in it, gives it to him.
And then he puts his fingers in his mouth and he whistles, and all three of his cats come over. They stand at attention. It's time to go, kitty cats! And immediately they head over to the door and they go out with him.
Before he goes out, she goes, wait! And she runs up, gives him a quick kiss on the cheek, and then goes back.
Mm-hmm.
I'll see you when you get home.
Okay. And he makes his way out into the city. Tulip leads you down to her car. And you go driving towards the central part of Salem itself. And you end up a couple blocks north of Salem General. You can see the Salem Police Department lights in the distance as you pull into the city coroner's office.
I have my cats.
Yeah. And she parks around back. You see that she has an employee card that lets her into a special part of the parking lot. And she goes around back and she knocks twice, waits, and knocks twice again. And
she records that.
Okay.
Kathy takes out the book and records it.
I mean, you know the code to get in to talk to Garrett. And you will see the door open, and there is this lab coat, this Black Sabbath t-shirt, jeans, and what looks to be this brain coral, weird shaped face. Pulls down his mask. Oh, hello, ladies. Come on in. I'm just getting to work on the body, finishing up and heading over across the river. What can I do for you, Tulip? Kathy? Good to see you again.
Kathy takes a step back and pulls out her notebook, and she's getting ready right as Tulip takes the leap.
Yeah. But this is Garrett. His full name is Garrett Sandy. He is Nosferatu that came over, invited by Julian after Otis took over. He comes from Austin originally, but he is the clan's cleaner, being that he works at the city coroner's office. He can dispose of bodies in legal ways. But he sits down, he listens to Tulip describe the situation at Elysium, what's happened, and he goes, that's odd. I've been helping out at West Salem. They've had an influx of bodies recently. Could this be connected, Tulip? And she goes, I don't see how, but let's not rule anything out just yet. Let's kind of keep touch with each other and see what comes out of it all, I guess. And he goes, okay, all right, sure.
Kathy raises her hand with her little pen, and she goes, what do you mean an influx of bodies at West Salem? What's going on there?
Things have been happening in the last couple of weeks. There's fear. West Salem Sheriff's Department thinks that there might be some anti-Semitic propaganda going on. I don't know if you're aware, that place that used to be not the last call, sorry. That place that used to be the Red Eye up in Salem town, it got bought out. And now that place is called the Rhinelands. And big German kind of vibe to the place. But one of my ghouls, I don't know if I've introduced you to Vanessa, but Vanessa is a nurse at West Salem, and she's seen a handful of Devil's Disciples kind of popping in with different wounds and
What did these
scars.
ones look like?
He looks around and he finds like a leather-bound journal, and he takes out a folded piece of paper and goes, I think these guys are just fucking idiots because they don't know what a swastika looks like. But to you, it looks like a poor man's excuse for a swastika. It's double lines. There's two hard lines and then it just curves. And then there's two hard lines and it curves upwards. It's like an attempt at a swastika was made, but never finished.
Could it be anything else besides a swastika?
Not really. It's weird because it's double lines.
Okay.
So it's double lines down and then curves it across, and then double lines left to right, and it curves upward.
Kathy takes a piece of paper, folded it up, and she puts it in her journal.
Well, he grabs it from you. It's like, you can draw this yourself, but this is mine. I need this.
Will do. Okay. She draws it out, and she's chuckling all the while.
Yeah. But yeah, those disciples have been showing up hurt, and since they've taken over West Salem, or trying to take over West Salem, there's been a lot of fighting with the free souls. So a lot of it's attributed to that kind of bubbling over. A lot of people are talking about how the free souls might be being controlled by Jewish people, which is stupid, but
Kathy gives him a look. Now, what do you think? You think it has to do with that or something deeper?
I think there's something more nefarious at work, honestly. To me, that doesn't look like an attempt was made at a swastika, and because this is a repeated offense. This is not a one and done. Like, this is not something that everybody kind of gets jittery about being scarred by. Like, this looks like ritualistic to me.
That's what I thought too, which is why I was asking. And she looks down at Tulip. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No,
she
no.
backs up again.
No, she goes, I appreciate the extra eyes. I wouldn't have thought to ask about that. He goes, yeah, luckily we haven't seen any of that here. Things like that, they've been kept up in Kaiser, as far as I'm concerned. But this is, and he kind of waves the paper at you. This is a different level altogether. I don't know what to do about this. And Tulip nods and she looks at your drawing. I'll get that from you later.
Yes, ma'am.
Thanks, Garrett. Keep us in the loop. Like I said, we don't know if it's connected or not yet. I hope it's not.
Garrett, what is the closest location to one of these deaths? And she points to the swastika.
Well, those aren't deaths. Those are connected to the Devil's Disciples.
Yes, but the closest one that was received. So, for instance, if they got hurt on a... Yeah.
So, the last body that I just got called in about showed up floating in the river, up closer to Salem town than West Salem.
Okay.
So, there's...
And when you first got...
Go ahead.
When you first got news, where did it start?
I got called in, I want to say 3 nights ago. I was told about the first kind of, I don't want to say wave of extra bodies, but the first kind of set of extra bodies that hit the overflow. As far, and be aware, the sheriff's department can handle maybe about a dozen bodies. So we're talking about, over the course of this last month, they've seen at least a dozen deaths. But I was called in for a couple of bodies that showed up, a guy and a girl. They had engagement rings on their hands, so we're assuming that they were a couple. I'm about to go see if the dental work has come in already, so we can find out who they are. But they were found in their car in a pond. So we don't know if we're assuming it's a suicide, but they got some grievous wounds in their stomachs that don't come from suicide.
What's the wounds look like?
They look like something nasty was used to disembowel them. But, and I've known a few gangrel in my time. To me, it looked like what a gangrel would do if they held their three fingers together and used that to kind of dig into the skin, trying to hide the fact that they had claws by making it seem more destructive than it should be. They're good. It's a good cover up. But I know claw marks when I see them.
And for gangrel, I haven't really run across one yet. Is there any on this side?
I don't know if there's any gangrel. I haven't been asking
Right.
at any of the Elysiums. I know that everybody talks about Connie Eastworm being a gangrel that was of some repute that helped out Otis coming up. But I think she left the city.
Does she have any child that we know of, or?
No, I don't think she ever made any. Aside from her, I think Dimitri's the only real gangrel in the city.
Okay. She writes it down.
Yeah. And you know that he means Dimitri Korshagan. Otis's Kotorime, who has the trash panda.
It's not a trash panda.
He named him Musor, which is Russian for trash.
It is a beautiful ferret.
No, that's Melvin.
Oh.
Dimitri does have the raccoon, the big fat raccoon.
I've never seen this, but okay. So she gets ready to leave. Oh, and I'm so sorry. Just a quick question in regards to all of this.
Yeah.
And she takes out like a little mini map. Do you think you can mark some of the deaths on this map just to kind of give me an idea of any patterns might come up?
So not to jeopardize my job or anything, you see him do some big circles.
Exactly.
This is as best as I can give you.
I appreciate it.
But just, this area might be worth investigating if you're going to be going that route.
You know me well. She closes the map. She puts it in her little book.
And Tulip has warned me, so. But she squeezes his arm. Thank you, Garrett. Keep us.
What can I say? I have friends that like a little trouble.
Keep us in the know. We're gonna go bug Theo, and then probably swing by Julian's. He's like, all right, yeah, I'll let you know if anything pops up. And he takes off. You guys take off. You go to Theo, and Theo works at the Willamette University Library, but she's there just kind of placed by Julian to keep an eye on the hunting grounds. A lot of people have been using the university, and he's worried about masquerade breaches.
Totally not me. Didn't do that. Yeah,
yeah. You single-handedly, you and Annabelle have ruined the Willamette University hunting grounds.
Didn't do that. That was
just so you're aware. So Theo is now kind of like the gargoyle in charge of the Willamette University hunting grounds.
The minute that Kathy would find out in the summation, she doesn't speak to him. She just stays behind Tulip and is like,
sure. I'm going to just to see your faces. I'm going to give you guys the image that was drawn.
What is that?
Yeah, that's the sloppy swastika.
That is not a sloppy swastika. That is something else entirely.
That's a sloppy swastika.
Okay.
Nope.
I can't roll anything to figure out if it's anything besides a swastika.
Yeah, no. You don't know.
Okay.
This is
I tried.
yeah. No, this is esoteric shit. It's not something that exists in a book. But I got the reactions I wanted from the people that I wanted it from. So if there's nothing else between you and Tulip, we can swing to Monday, the 30th of June.
Has Teddy come back?
Yeah, he talked
Okay.
to Grant Reynolds himself, and he lets you know. He comes in like about an hour before the sunrise, and he's kind of trudging his feet along. It looks like he got the information that he didn't want to hear, but he kind of plops down in his corner and he just, it is true that Mr. Reynolds has killed Manny Garza. But from what I understand, it was an act of revenge, and as far as he is concerned, he is done. But I told him that there was a blood hunt for him, and he reacted as any Bruja would, and he has told me to tell everyone that if they come for him, that he will burn the city to the ground.
Did he say what revenge he was trying to do?
He said that he was getting revenge for his woman, Elizabeth Guernsey, which Manny had killed.
She writes that down. Who was this man? I didn't even know he had a girlfriend. This is not like Facebook.
I had heard that Mr. Reynolds had been running with somebody, but the only people that I have seen him with are with Mr. White and his associates, his friends.
All right.
I tried. I am sorry.
You did great, Teddy, like always.
He kind of puts his hand on his face and he just kind of shrinks into his corner.
Okay. Well, she looks at Tulip. So, I think it's time to pay some friends a visit.
He goes, yeah. Well, we'll link up if any new information comes up, but just be careful. I'm figuring.
She gives. Go
ahead.
She gives Tulip a little wink. I'm a troublemaker, remember?
Yeah. If I know Otis, I'm pretty sure he's gonna put Harvey back in the position of sheriff. I know how much you don't like him.
I hate him.
So just be aware that if you need to see me, you might have to come to the diner. So you'll be there. She kind of puts her hand on your bicep, like she just kind of gives you a squeeze. She's like, he's a good guy, and I hope that one day you get to see that.
Smells like a rat to me, but okay.
She,
me a little bit.
Yeah, she shrugs. I'm doing what I can, and she walks out.
Well, before she goes, of course, Kathy gives her a hug, and she follows out. She grabs her keys, and she starts to head towards, some old stomping ground. She puts her cat in her thing.
It's an hour before sunrise, so.
Never mind, I sleep.
Yeah. So you can do that. You can do that all of Sunday, Saturday and Sunday. By Monday, I would think that enough rumors have gotten around that Ivory would call in the group. Especially since there is a meeting on the docket for 10 o'clock with an Ethan Forelli. He is a Ventrue in the city, well-to-do. He is the owner of Newman's New Man Tailoring and Fabrics. He's a clothier and haberdashery in the city.
Well, that's something different.
Right?
So they were supposed to check on Samantha and talk to her.
Sure.
Have they been able to track her down?
You can track her down. Yeah, she works at the Albatross. So anytime you
Yeah.
want to go in and talk to her, you can.
Okay.
So you guys could have done that Saturday or Sunday. What do you want to know from Sam?
We were supposed to find out about the last call, I think.
Okay. Do you take Kathy with you? Do you call in Kathy for that meeting, or is it just Kat, Ivory, and Carl?
If we can get a hold of her.
Okay. So Saturday night, can they get a hold of Kathy?
I don't know. So here's the thing. She kind of just up and left.
Okay.
She kind of just up and left.
Oh,
Like,
she
one day-
hasn't been coming?
No, at all. She's been running around with
Oh.
Tulip and trying to like you haven't seen her in months.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
At least a
Yeah.
I
month.
didn't know that.
Yeah, at least a month.
Yeah, that was one of the things I was talking to Will about, like, because she's busy trying to become like a Tulip or a Teddy, so and working
Well,
to support her new apartment because you kicked her
I
out.
think Ivory would have been like at least leaving some messages.
Okay.
Just, touching base, whether she answers or not.
Sure.
So,
So at least I have a phone number.
Yeah.
Now to call.
Yeah. And you know where to find Ivory.
Oh, I figured I was just gonna walk right in with my cats and be like, "What happened to my bedroom?" Like literally that night, she would walk in and be like, "Hey, is my room still open?"
So before you guys leave for the Albatross, Kathy will come in, so that way all three of you are there for the Samantha conversation. But it's been at least a month since you've seen Kathy.
And she has a bag full of cat food and 2 cats now.
2 cats.
The herd grows.
Right?
yeah, I don't think with what's going on, there's anything going on upstairs. The main floor is, of course, it's Saturday night. So,
So she has a big book bag. She has a little cover over her book bag. She has like a bag. She walks up. If they let her in, they let her in, and then she tries to go in her
Yeah.
own room. Sees that it's
It
filled,
takes
like, "Damn it!"
It takes Benjamin coming out and vouching for you with the doorman. But he does kind of like nod to you, Miss Carver. It's good to see you again.
Howdy, boy. Can I And she like holds up her bag. I got some treats.
And sure, as long as you keep them in that bag, you should be fine to come inside.
Oh, but someone's gotta feed them. I guess you're volunteering. She's saying as like she's slinking past.
They can stay outside then, and he grabs both the cats.
Oh, you can't do that.
Oh,
Don't touch my cat.
I believe that I can, Miss Carver, and I will. If you have an issue with that, you can take it up with Miss Larson.
I will happily take it up with Miss Farfin, but she grabs her cats back. You will not be touching my cats again. And she gives him like this. Hold on, persuasion. Persuasion. I now have persuasion.
Oh,
Hold.
sure.
I can do this now. Can I make this roll? I have 3 in persuasion. What else do I need to manipulate?
I mean, you just said it. Yeah, manipulation.
Okay, hold on. Okay, so I have 6.
Sure.
Let's do it.
And Benjamin is not a run-of-the-mill ghoul.
So I got a 2, a 4, a 6, a 6, and a 7. Right?
Okay.
6, 2,
So
a
3
4,
successes?
7. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 4.
Okay. So he's got composure of 3. And inside of 4. Ooh. Ooh. It's a good dice roll for him. 5 successes.
Damn you.
I'll warn
I was-
you, the dice I made him roll really well.
They do. They are nice. Benjamin looks at you and smiles his best British smile. Miss Carver, I assure you, they either go in the bag or they go outside the establishment. You can
But the
stay
cats
with
are in.
them.
She puts them back in the bag.
Good choice, Miss Carver.
Hold on, I gotta do something real quick. I'm sorry, Avery. Do I have it?
Benjamin is one of Ivory's ghouls, I will remind you.
I know. I
Okay.
understand that.
All right.
I'm just gonna slightly steal something.
Sure.
Hold on.
I just want you to be aware of all the information before you do some Jesse shit.
Okay. I don't have enough. Forget it. I only got one. It's not worth it. Go ahead.
Okay. And you see that he doesn't exactly follow you, but he does keep you in his line of sight as he's working the crowd, kind of going over to some of the other bouncers and handling information and schmoozing with customers. But upstairs, you will see that it is much quieter. You can still hear the music coming up from downstairs, but it's a quieter vibe. There's mostly invited guests and people that you've seen at Elysium here and there. So you can imagine it's kindred and ghouls and special guests. But where's Ivory and where's Carl?
Ivory's probably in her office.
Yeah, I'd be hanging out with Ivory. Imagine.
Yep. So Billy would see you behind the bar, Kathy, as you come up, and immediately come around and lead you to the office. With a soft knock, Billy will open. Cat lady's here.
Oh!
The minute she walks in, can I let my cats out? You're gonna let your bodyguard try and frisk me again.
Excuse me?
Wow.
Hi. Long
Hi.
time no see.
It's only been a month. By the way, you could tell that Kathy's been doing shit to her hair because like half of it's brown, the other half of it's blonde.
Good times.
Like she looks all different kinds of discombobulated. But she like puts her bag down. Can I let the cats out?
In here.
She lets them out, and then if like the guy, whoever his name is, Benjamin's still there, she turns
Billy?
around, and sticks her tongue at him. No, it
No,
was
Benjamin stayed downstairs.
Yeah.
Oh.
Billy's
And then,
different.
okay, fine. She turns around, she looks at Billy. She's like, if you can let Mr. Snooty Tooty British man know, meow, meow, they're up here, motherfucker. Kathy fashion.
And he looks at Ivory. Is that a message I should pass on? That's
She
That's
turns so that
a little
Kathy
aggressive.
can't quite see her and says, sure, and winks.
You got it. And closes the door.
I
Kathy.
take it Benjamin wouldn't let you take them out?
No, and it wasn't that I was taking him out. I showed him the cat food. She has like the bag of like a couple cat foods, and he wouldn't let me bring him up. He had told me they got to stay in the bag. She lets them out, but they're well behaved and trained.
Well, I know that, but it's a health code violation.
Oh, but they were in.
In the bag's fine. You can do it in here or in your old room, I guess, if you still want that. You never
Well,
said.
I know. I'm sorry. I kind of just up and left.
You did.
I
You've
did.
been okay.
Yes, and she pulls out her journal. But I don't know what the fuck this is, and I'm thinking older people like you might. And she held the little like symbol out.
It's a shitty swastika.
You want to
No.
take that one?
Yeah. Let me see. Did anything from on my end?
How much is your occult at?
I have one occult.
3. Okay, yeah. Make an intelligence and occult roll.
Yeah, I don't have a cult, so I don't know that Ivory would know it.
Yeah.
I know that's something fishy about it, which is why my one occult works.
Yeah.
But I was like, here you go.
This is why you have Tremere in your group. They do the occult shit.
I figured if anyone's gonna know what the fuck is going on, it's you two.
Well, you've heard what happened, right?
Mm-hmm. And then she flips to the page, and she like kind of just like holds it up and be like, here, read through this. It's gonna be a lot easier than me explaining everything.
5 successes. You've seen it once before, especially being German. Back during the infamous search for supernatural relics that the Fuhrer was hellbent on securing for himself to try to win the war, a symbol kept popping up associated with a special rank of the SS, and that is the symbol. The group were called the Fenrir, and they were the Führer's Fenrir in particular. But they were said to fight as vicious as wolves, and were able to kind of brush off more mortal wounds that would have killed regular soldiers.
Interesting.
So she clears her throat. Hold on. There might be a gangrel hunting you around. She holds up the map somewhere around here. She flips back a couple pages. Also, Shooty McShoot per person states that if we come after him, he's gonna burn the city to the ground. I say kill the fucker and we'll have some fireworks.
Typical, but so that symbol is problematic. I basically relay the what you said with the Fenrir.
Yep.
Do I have any association with the werewolves or at all? Just the I know that's out of character, but just that they got a supernatural kind of
the way that all the stories ever got out about them, they were always attached to something supernatural. They were more than men, but no one ever survived an encounter with the Fenrir, and those associated with the Fenrir had to clear the highest levels of like the Führer's echelons. Like even what's his name that was in charge of the SS, like he didn't have control over them.
Goebbels? No, that was the propaganda guy. I always forget who was in charge.
Yeah, I wanted to say Goebbels, but I was just like, that's not him.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Oh god. Yeah. I could start throwing names out. I don't remember which one's which.
Yeah.
World War II history is rusty right now. Anyway, either way, regardless, bad guys, more than men, likely, especially in our knowing our luck. The rumors are probably more true than not. And the fact that the symbol is popping up here is probably a very bad sign for us.
Not here, but West Salem, but it looks like it's getting closer.
Whatever. Here, within our reach. It's not good.
Great.
We
have like 4 people being blood hunted, and now we have
4 people. I was only heard about the one.
Yeah, those got out of it.
Yeah, there's some other Sabat, the ones that were impersonating the Melvin and his group.
They're still alive.
So yeah,
Tucker, I guess.
Tucker White, Kevin, Merlot, and Andrew Bates.
Yep.
I would think
Marlowe.
Those. I would think that other people would kill them, but sure, yeah, that can be on our to-do list. We just got a laundry list of things to do.
I don't know if we're going to be going to kill them, but we're not exactly the most fighty of the.
She does her thing. I don't know. I've been working out, guys.
Have fun with that.
Yep.
I generally tend to stay away from the things with claws and teeth.
Yep.
Okay. Like my one strength.
One strength, one brawl. Yeah, boy.
One strength. Woo.
I don't recall the gangrel having that symbol.
Oh no, she flips to a couple pages. This is actually, and she kind of flips it over so Ivory can read. This is actually having to do with something different. It seems like some of these bodies are coming out quite mutilated in the tummy area. And she pushes it over so Ivory can flip through.
She does.
Yep. There's talk about, the Red Eye Lounge being bought out, the things about the bodies. The first bodies were the couple that were found in the pond, and then the latest body was found in the river.
Has Ivory heard anything about this from her position?
It's all West Salem stuff.
Okay.
And it's all mortals. Nobody has made the connection that claws are involved, except for Garrett.
Can she make the connection that might be wolves?
Um,
Werewolves?
It's easy to make the connection between werewolves or gangrel. Especially the way that Carl's talking about the Fenrir.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, we know that there are werewolves around.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we did find them.
Yep, they're around.
Point. That was scary.
It might have something to do with them.
He said it looked more like Grangrel.
Has he seen wolves, though? Has he seen werewolves?
Listen, okay, I've only been at this for 6 months. I didn't think to ask that question.
Can I ask the right question?
It's okay. Yeah. Anyway, we need to go talk to Samantha.
Who be she?
You've met her. She works at the Albatross with Marcus.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember. That was a while.
Yeah, the Bruja lady.
Yeah, Otis has asked us to go talk to her.
About what?
Oh, well, I suppose we should tell you what we were doing last night.
Yeah, that'd be ideal.
Well, you haven't been around.
I've been busy becoming espionage. And she does some weird James Bond music.
Yep. Becoming the whole topic of espionage.
Yeah.
I hope you do the Kronk soundtrack.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's literally doing that. A little bit of her human side.
Jazz hands.
So, Carl did some of his fun trickery Tremere stuff, and we got a lead on Grant Reynolds.
Whose blood did you steal this time?
Anything. Just because they leave it lying around doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. Bastard. What? So we found this lady because of some blood voodoo?
It has nothing to do with just the blood this time. It was their I knew who they were, so yeah, we just go over the tracking and how we ran across the city and found them both at the last call bar eventually, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And then how we lost them due to a couple what's his name? The Tremere on the other side, freaking
Eugene Stanton.
Eugene Stanton.
Yeah. We actually saw one of the altercations between the Free Souls and the whatever their name is.
The Devil's Disciples.
Devil's Disciples. Yeah. We actually saw something with that.
I gotta love that kid moves with the shotgun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy. Weasel.
All right. Let's go talk Sammy.
But evidently Samantha used to own the last call. So if there's something going on, if she might know something about it. And Otis wanted us to check it out. So.
Okay. One quick question. Do we have to pay for parking here?
No.
Okay, cool. My bike's not going to get towed, right?
Where did you park it?
I have a bike now.
In the front where?
The front.
Like a bicycle?
No, remember she has a little moped.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So I just kind of went right to the front.
It won't be where you left it. I'll tell you that right now.
You know what? I might need a ride. Let's go.
All right.
Gang's all back together. So you head to the Albatross.
I have my cats.
Okay. You see Marcus behind the bar. You see Sam behind the bar, and you see the tall, kind of slender black gentleman behind the bar with the glasses and a little bit of a goatee.
Do we know him?
He's Marcus's ghoul.
Ah.
He's normally there during the day, so to see him here at night is a little weird. But given everything that's happened, it's not too weird to have Marcus kind of having all hands on deck. But he waves and he comes over to the closest end of the bar, nearest the entrance. Oh, look at this! 2 knots in a row. What can I do you for? Top shelf for you, Miss Lawson?
Kathy takes a step back so she's hidden a little bit.
Of course. Thank you.
Sure. He points up, and the tall, lanky black gentleman just kind of reaches up and grabs the top bottle, brings it down, pours a shot, slides it over to you. What can I do for you 3?
Actually, we were hoping to talk to Sam.
Oh, well then. He turns around. Sam, you got some eloquent people to talk to, so make sure you use your indoor voice. And she flicks him off. And she comes around the bar. So is this an anywhere conversation, or should we use the office?
We might want to use the office.
And she slams her hand on the table, on the bar top. I'm going to go downstairs and use the office. Try not to burn the bar down, you fuckface. And Marcus flicks her the bird now. And she goes over and she leads you downstairs into the office.
All right. Ivory will leave some cash on the bar. And is it actually alcohol, or is it special?
It smells like alcohol, but you know that he did not give you a regular shot glass. The shot glass he gave you has a kind of spider web of red through it.
So I can drink this.
You can drink this.
Okay. So she will actually put it back. It's been a hell of a couple of days.
Okay. It tastes like Crown Royal.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yep.
Kathy.
And she'll slam it on the bar and follow Sam.
Yep. What did Kathy do?
Nothing. Kathy did nothing. Kathy's points are still too low to do anything.
Okay. You go downstairs. The office is how you remember it. There's a desk at the far end, a couch, a couple of love seats. It looks more like a basement apartment than anything. Like, the only thing missing is a pool table, honestly. But she goes over. She sits. She leans back against the desk, so she's kind of half sitting, half standing. And she just opens her arms wide to the couch and love seats. Have a seat wherever you want. What can I do for you?
We had a couple questions about the bar you used to own. The last call?
Wow. That's odd.
What's odd?
You're the second group of people asking about the last call in the last 48 hours. So it's a little odd.
Oh, wow.
Who's the other people?
Fuckface Erickson and his butt buddy Andreas.
Oh, that's lovely. If we're on the same trail as them, we're going to end up in a fight.
Same trail.
What did they want to know?
They wanted to know if I ever thought about getting it back up and running, and whether or not I had taken steps to it, which I haven't, and I don't. I'm very happy helping Marcus and underpaying the same band. So, it's a comfortable gig.
Yeah.
No complaints here.
Insight wise, can I see if she's like kind of hiding something or shifty?
Sure, man. Do it.
Sure. I'll do it.
Your wits is 3, your insight is 2, so it'd be 4 regular dice and 1 hunger die.
Wait, I gotta get all the same colors. Okay. Yes, got it. All right, cool.
Yep.
I got a 0, a 7, a 1, and a 5.
Okay. It doesn't look like she's lying about anything regarding the last call.
What about working for Marcus and not
So-
wanting to bring it back up?
There's a little irritation there in her voice, but it's not like she's gonna turn on him or anything like that. It's just, it almost feels like she feels underutilized or underpaid, something like along those natures.
Okay.
Along those lines.
So I thought, okay, so you owned it before Erickson, right?
Yep,
Because he owned it,
Yep, I handed it over to him.
and then it was taken over by.
So when I handed it over to him, I figured he was a state senator. He must know what he's doing as far as life is concerned. And
Because
so
all state senators do.
Right, correct. Especially from the Bible Belt, like this fucking. So I thought he understood what it meant to run a business. So imagine my surprise when I get a letter because he never changed addresses, as the city had put a lien on the property. He never reported the 2 fires that took place there. He never reported any of the situations that happened there with the police, and so the place was condemned, and it was basically sold at a fraction of the price that I paid for it to some fuckface corporation, and they were going to build a family kind of restaurant arcade there. Just a waste, honestly.
So I remember, didn't we look into that? Who had bought that?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, and
Didn't we
it was
find out
actually was it Garner or was it Davies? I can't remember.
It was Davies.
Okay, I thought it was Davies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Davies is who?
Yeah.
No, the Toreador.
The corporation that Davies owns.
Oh, that fuckface owns the Sunshine Corp?
Mm-hmm.
Or the Sunrise Corp? What up?
Yeah.
Makes sense. Toreador, asshole. No offense.
Why do you think you want it?
To fuck the Bruja?
I mean, the Last Call is not the best of locations, but you've got the river, you've got the bridge.
It's right across from the bridge.
It's a straight line into Kaiser too. That's a through street.
Yeah.
And it takes you down into the main thoroughfare. You can get down to the country club. The main street that it's on is a fantastic street if you know the city inside and out.
You know, I know they were working on it like over 6 months ago, but looks like the construction's been stopped.
Yeah. Erickson brought up something about a new company owning it. I didn't write it down. We were at a bar. I didn't have anything to write things down with, so.
Yeah, fair.
But yeah, he told me, him and Andreas told me that there was some new player on the table, that he had heard about it, and that's why he was asking. But you know, the having not had to worry about that kind of situation is a fucking relief, honestly. Like hiding guns, hiding people, like it gives you a certain level of stress.
Trying to keep the regular people alive. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Yeah, you know.
Yeah. Not have too much come down on it.
Yeah. And you know,
I don't know what you're talking about.
I should have known that I left it in bad hands, and I should have done something about it. But I had already washed my hands like Pontius Pilate. But the moment he told me that he had been attacked by a werewolf, I was like, I'm glad that I'm out. Then I'm done.
What do you mean he was attacked by a werewolf?
I mean, he told me that he got attacked by a werewolf. I didn't ask him anything else because werewolves are fucking scary. And then that made up my mind that I had done the right thing.
When was this?
Oh, this is last year.
Oh.
Yeah, like sometime, I want to say it was before Halloween, because I think it was after the first fire, but not after the second fire.
It's so hard to keep track.
When I think back about all the times that he talks about setting things on fire, I wonder how this city has survived.
I think the same thing too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we all do.
Oh, so you know about his penchant for setting things on
Arson.
fire. Yeah. Thank you. That's the word.
Well, I know that things have definitely burned down a lot in Salem.
Oh, it's known for its bonfires.
So
We weren't.
just to see if you know anything, not that I think you would, but anything about Grant Reynolds? You know that's why.
I mean, he was here yesterday.
Right. Did you see it?
I was behind the bar, so I didn't get to hear, but I know that he handed Marcus that sleeve with the fangs in it. Said something to him, like real close in his ear. And then just walked out. Saw him get into a car that looked kind of like Erickson's car. And the fuckface behind the wheel kind of looked like Erickson, but I could tell that it wasn't him.
No, it wasn't.
And I asked him about it, and he said that he would never drive Grant Reynolds around like some chauffeur. And I kind of believe him. I think you would have to have some kind of real leverage to break that man.
Yeah, they
But would he meet with him?
Circles it.
You think he'd meet with him?
With Grant Reynolds?
Yeah.
I don't know. I know Melvin was the connection to Grant Reynolds in that group. I don't know if he would have the wherewithal or the gumption to want to take over for that bridge. That would be a big boy move, and I don't know if he's there yet.
Yeah, well, people can surprise you.
Hmm.
And it's not like, we've seen other things happen that are more astounding than somebody turned traitor.
Yeah, I guess.
So your take on him is that he's not quite ready to be involved in something like that?
I don't think he is. I think he wants to be, guaranteed. I think with one of the things that I always noticed about Erickson Wood is that no one ever asked for him when they were looking for him in his group. They were always asking for Melvin or Andreas.
I mean, in fairness, it was normally Melvin who got the shit, kicked out of everything.
Yeah.
Well, Melvin knew all.
Yeah, and
Melvin,
what happened?
Melvin was one hell of a Nosferatu. But
he never gave me.
Hopefully, we'll see him again someday.
We'll see. But he was never the same after they killed his sire. So that's the nature of the beast,
Yeah.
Not everybody
Hopefully
has.
he can fight his demons and come back.
Not everybody has a good relationship with their sire, so.
Very true.
Anything else about the last call? I don't got much to go on anymore.
Ivory looks at the other two.
Oh, don't look at me. I'm not the one trying to figure out tons of information about the last call.
I don't think I have anything else.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. And she'll walk you to the stairs, and the moment you're up and out, she'll close the door and stay down there.
Okay.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. But you see that as you come out, stage is being set up. You can see a couple of people coming in with instruments, setting up like the drum kit, guitars.
Is it that terrible band?
It is not Edgar Allan Poe's wife.
Okay.
It is Neep
Is it
W.
another bad band?
Neep W is the worst band that Salem has to offer.
Okay. And she would probably know that.
Yep.
So
Yeah. And you see
All right,
that,
so
that
we need
Marcus
to-
Marcus is already like preparing little wads of paper in his ears.
before he does that,
Yeah.
hey, any new information?
As far as
Have you heard anything more since last night? Have you heard about the 3 more?
I heard about the Huey, Dewey, and Louie for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
I heard about them. I heard that Erickson Wood met with Sam. And I heard about the disciples getting got up at the motel. That's going to start another war between these biker gangs.
Yeah, I thought it settled down for a while.
Well, it's going to be interesting because from what I understood, some of the people that saw or heard what happened saw or heard a Free Souls running off after the event. So whatever truce had been worked on is probably worked entirely.
You said that they ran off. Do you have an idea? Did you hear about where or what direction?
All I heard is one of the people in the neighboring rooms heard the shots go off and then the pitter patter of little feet and then a motorcycle roaring to life and kind of driving off. So they put 2 and 2 together.
Okay.
Came up with that formula, which makes sense, you know.
Yeah.
They
saw that, right?
Yeah, they've been going toe to toe. You saw the Free Souls fucking shoot the door and then shoot 2 guys in cold blood.
Yep. So we know what he looks like.
You do. And you also know that he did, in fact, scamper off, giggling like an asshole, and drive off in his motorcycle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just what we need.
Yeah. But we'll get through it, you know.
Yeah. As you can imagine, Otis is not in a good mood.
Yeah. Figured he's not going to be in a good mood for at least a few years. So.
Well, if we can figure out all this and that'll help.
Yeah.
So if you hear anything else, let me know.
Will do.
Thanks.
Yeah. He waves to all of you as you leave, and you hear, the first kind of test run of the drumming, and there's no rhyme or reason. There's no time code that makes sense to what you're hearing.
She has damped down. Definitely not using heightened senses.
No. I am using the opposite of heightened senses. I want to fucking turn them off. But
getting out of there as soon as possible.
Yeah. But Billy drives you back to the club. And if there's no other business, we can jump to Monday.
Yeah. There was something else he wanted us to do. What was that? Do you remember?
Otis?
Yeah. He had said, go talk to Sam and something else. And now I can't remember what it was.
Oh, to see if you could set something up, I think at Salem General.
Oh, right.
But,
that's going to take some time.
Yeah, that'll be a long term.
Yeah, she probably put Benjamin on that somewhat, like to find someone that might.
Kathy does not like anybody.
No.
Not true. I love Ivory.
Ivory for president, right?
Ivory for president. Ivory for president. But yeah, so we'll jump to Monday as the coteries gathered again.
Yeah, Ivory would have told Kathy about the meeting.
Yep.
And it would be great if she could be there.
Yep.
She's there. She just basically so what she has done is she has made sure that there is enough food for Teddy and his kitty cats, and she had planned to stay there for a couple days before she bounced again.
But you guys all meet up on Monday around 9ish, right as the club is opening. Yeah, I mean the moped was just moved by the bouncers, so it's not in the entranceway, and it was off to the side and out of eye line, so that nobody assumed that that's what was allowed in the club. There is an atmosphere that must be maintained at the Dance Nocturne. But when you meet up around 9 o'clock, you still got an hour. Benjamin again is there at the doors, and he just kind of nods curtly as he lets Kathy in, but he does shake Carl's hand. Billy's upstairs next to Ivory. And around 10 o'clock, almost on the dot, you will see coming up the steps this well-dressed man. He's got a business shirt on, the tie's up, the sleeves are rolled up, steel gray vest with that kind of pocket watch with the chain, the fob watch chain from one pocket to the other, the slacks, the immaculate kind of shined Italian shoes, trim, very close to the face, beard, slicked black hair, very cold eyes. But he comes up, he's got one hand in his pocket, one hand on the railing as he climbs up, and just kind of nods curtly to Ivory and starts making his way over to your table.
She actually stands up and motions him into the Parisian.
Okay, so he'll turn and follow you.
And she's actually got a trio playing in there.
Okay.
Some very soft jazz, but they are not listening.
Yeah. And as you enter the Parisian, he comes in, loosens
and she's
up his
dressed
tie.
to the nines.
Yeah, he loosens up his tie a little bit. Miss Larson, I appreciate you accepting this meeting. As Keeper of Elysium, I felt I must come to you before anything else. And as the owner of the location where said incident occurred, I ask, of course, I must ask you first. My ghoul was here Friday and Saturday, and she has come back with chunks of time missing. She is aware, given myself as a dominator, that I am privy to the powers of domination. She understands that she has been the victim of this. This is
Really?
Elysium.
Yes, it is.
Understood.
And this happened on Friday and Saturday.
Correct.
Hmm.
I have taken
and
her,
she would have motioned for him to sit. And
yeah. I have taken her to Mr. Thompson, and I have checked her over for signs of vitae that are not mine, and she has none. So,
well, I'm glad to hear that.
as am I.
He leans back, Kathy leans back and says, "So, she's forgetting?"
She has been forced to forget.
Well,
could this be something similar that she sees with Annabelle?
you could try to piece that together, but you also have come to learn that all the Malkavians that you've come across have not debilitating, but definitely mental issues that are their curse. So whereas Leslie has her OCD issues, Annabelle has that short-term memory issue. Or long-term memory, rather, where she can't remember anything unless she writes it down.
And this guy's name was what?
Ethan,
I'm sorry.
Ethan Farrelly. And the Primogen, Eleanor, has visions, and she speaks in tongues.
That makes sense. But can I discern if something similar has happened based on what I know? I know Malkavians are curses, but could I?
Well,
you can assume that if you want.
He did say it was from Dominate. So.
He thinks it's from Dominate.
Yeah.
But no Vitae's been present.
Do you happen to have a picture or something?
A sample of blood?
No, I don't need a sample of blood.
It's not for you.
Yeah, you already know. You already know.
Like the minute she said that's not for you.
Do you have a sample of blood? Yeah, he pulls out what looks to be a very beautiful kind of senior picture kind of work that has been done. Great care has been done for like a photo shoot of his ghoul. And as he hands it to you, he's just like, I had come hoping that your security system was one of use that we could take a look.
Yes, that was my thought exactly.
Excellent.
Yes.
I didn't want to pry into how long you keep your records, Miss Larson, but I was hoping.
If you'll excuse me a moment, I will go give this to my security and
of course.
See if they can find anything.
Thank you.
She will get up and go out and find Benjamin.
Okay. He's in the security room.
Yeah. Kathy will.
We have a issue.
You leave Carl with him?
Yes.
Oh, great. I'm not sure. Okay. Yeah. So.
Venture into Tremere. What can go wrong?
Yeah. She will. She will go over to the security room. Benjamin, we have an issue.
Oh. How can I be of service?
Evidently, this young woman was in the club this weekend, Friday and Saturday night. She is the ghoul of our present guest. And evidently she has lost time in our club.
Well, we don't know if it's in our club. We're assuming it's in our. I mean,
well, she knew she was here, so, and she's lost time here. So, if you could pull up the security tapes and see if you could find,
of course,
what happened.
And he goes over, and he pulls one of the file cabinets open, and he pulls up the 6 tapes for Friday. Goes over, and puts them into the secondary monitors that you have.
I assume this will take a while.
Of course. I will get to work immediately.
We're in the Parisian.
Understood. But while this is going on, Ethan.
Wait.
Yeah. What do you want to do?
When she lost time, could it also be from any occult nonsense?
Could be. Sure.
Can I check? I would know that. I would see signs of it.
I mean, without talking to her, you couldn't.
She's not there.
Yeah, she's not there. It's just him.
Or do you want to watch the tapes? Is that?
Yeah, is that what you're asking?
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you want to sit there with Benjamin?
Yeah, I'll chill with Benjamin, but I'm like on the far corner.
Sure.
And I pretend like I'm smelling something nasty.
Mm-hmm. But while you're off at the security room, Ethan will lean in towards Carl. Mr. Keller, correct?
Correct.
Yes, Mr. Thompson spoke highly of you. If something were an issue here, you would more than capable of figuring it out, yes?
I would certainly lend my efforts to maintain the structure of Elysium.
Excellent. I would hate to have to warn the other Ventrue in the city to find other alternatives to their entertainment is all.
I understand. Yeah, that would be good for nobody.
Of course.
Yes, we want to provide an excellent place for both Elysium and obviously just on a nightly basis.
Is there a way, given your skills, to hide Vitae in a ghoul's blood?
Hide it? I honestly don't even remember that answer. Want me to roll cult and all that? Cult sorcery?
I mean, you can make up an answer.
Okay. I mean, I can. But I was thinking if I can't remember if there.
No, it's fine. If Carl thinks that they can, then go with that. And if they can't, then they can't.
Okay. Carl, that's never a good sign.
I know. I'm aware I'm walking into a trap. It's okay.
This is Karibo in defense mode.
Yeah. So, it goes, it's certainly possible, as all things in science and magic. But is it common? No.
Oh, I was not aware that the warlocks had that kind of gift with their sorcery.
Many things that are, what is it? There are more things in heaven and earth ratio.
Oh, a learned man. Good. Excellent. And that's when the door opens and Ivory can come back in.
I'm just imagining if you guys have played BG3 yet, it just says disapproves.
100% Kathy disapproves.
So Ivory comes back in. I have my security checking it out right now.
Excellent. Would you like me to wait then, or should I await to hear news?
Well, I mean, we do have hours to go through, but I mean, we can wait for a little while and see if he's lucky. Otherwise, it might take a while.
All right.
Do you know where she was? That might help.
Oh, that I don't. I know that when we were here for Elysium, she was by my side for the most of it. And I do remember that I let her stay after Otis made his big declaration about the blood hunt. And I went home to meet with Miss Coulson, Miss Virginia Coulson, to discuss the manner of how this was handled. It was very, very brutish, I think. An older Ventrue would have kept his head about him, I think. But,
oh, that's not good.
You know, he is young and what is the word? Blue collar, I think is what the Americans call it. So, but
what nationality is he?
Ethan?
Yeah.
British.
Ah, fuck.
Yeah. He's old school, old world Ventrue.
Okay.
But he's young, and he should. This might help him grow into the Ventrue he needs to become, I think.
Well, we all grow and learn, right?
Correct. And as he stands up, he tightens his vest. I want you to know, Miss Larson, that I don't blame you for what happened to my ghoul. I don't think that you run a lax security by any stretch of the imagination.
Incite that shit.
Oh, I know he's lying. I don't need to incite that.
He's a Ventrue.
Is he talking? Yeah, he's lying.
He's not that bad, guys. Come on.
I don't know yet.
Tremere.
How long has he been in town?
Ooh. Since the beginning of the year.
Okay, so he's been here a while.
Yeah. Like the moment the hide was removed and word got around, a lot of people started coming back to the city.
Well, no shit.
Don't have a monster for a
Well,
yeah, like right now, I believe that last.
So was he here before?
No.
No. Okay.
He came towards the middle of January. At last count, the main tower vampires in the city, the main tower kindred, are standing at 35.
All right.
So. It's not a big populace, but it is
Better.
a pretty good indication of life coming back.
Yeah, when you consider what the last Ventrue prince did, working with the Second Inquisition, staking the last prince, and causing all kinds of mayhem, I think Otis is doing a pretty good job.
It is terrible when one of our kind falls to the darker urges. I agree. I think that a lot of good princes could learn a thing or two from Mithras.
Who's Mithras?
You stayed with Benjamin. You're not there.
I know.
Yeah. But it's a little bit of
he took a terrible situation and has stepped in and fixed a lot of things. So
it is impressive. And he leans over to you and a shaitan more prolific than that bastard Jackson is currently working.
So I've heard.
Small steps, correct? Everything in moderation.
Of course.
As always, Miss Lawson, it has been a pleasure. I look forward to
I will. Where
work.
should I forward the information?
He reaches into his pocket and pulls out a business card. And it is delicious to hold, the way this texture feels against your skin. But it has, the name of his haberdashery and clothing store. It says beautiful calligraphy. It just says Newman's New Man Tailoring. And then underneath it, the ampersand and then fabrics. Has the address in the corner and then the phone number in the opposite corner. And on the back, in what looks to be an actual old quill calligraphy, it has his name, Ethan Forelli, and then Esquire behind it.
Well, as soon as we have anything, I will let you know.
I appreciate your attention on the matter, Miss Lawson.
Of course.
And he will extend his hand to Carl. He'll kiss Ivory's hand if she allows it, and he makes his way out. But
when he leaves, she rolls her eyes. Oh God, more things. What the hell? You hadn't seen anything? Says to Carl.
Regarding what?
The girl.
Did I see? I don't think I recognized her.
With all the faces that come into the club?
Do I remember seeing her at the Elysium?
Give me a wits and awareness.
Okay.
Actually,
I don't get to add anything, do I?
Intelligence and awareness to try to remember.
Really? I'd rather do wits.
I know. But the moment you were like, "Can I add anything?" I was like, "Oh, you trying to add aspects to this?" Then no, it's for you.
Well, do I get to add aspects to it?
No.
Okay.
If it were a Toreador
I get
ghoul,
a whole 4 dice.
if it were a Toreador ghoul, I'd let you add aspects to say one.
She's pretty though.
She is pretty. She is pretty.
I like pretty.
But she
I
doesn't
notice pretty
have-
people.
You do notice pretty people, but she doesn't have the merit, so she's just like normal pretty.
Ah.
She's a Salem 7, so.
Salem 7.
But she's a Portland 5.
Okay, I got 2 successes.
2 successes. You look at the picture, and although it does look professional, it looks like there was a lot of work done to make her look as natural as possible while still wearing a ton of makeup.
I recognize the photo shoots for my clients. Yes.
Yeah. There's something about how bland she actually looks. Like if you saw her in a lineup, you wouldn't be able to pick her out without the picture.
Okay.
It's strange. You've never seen somebody like that before.
So she will meander back over to security and see how he's doing.
Kathy has gotten little balls and just kind of throwing at him.
Yeah. And, he dodges every so often, just kind of will catch one, put it down. And you don't know how
we've missed Kathy around here.
how good he is until you see him like using the reflection of the monitors to just kind of like see what you're doing, react accordingly. But he has timestamps of when he has caught her.
Okay.
And you can see that if he goes back to them for you, the first few timestamps he's caught, she is with him. She's with Ethan. They're kind of there. You can see the moment where Marcus comes over to Otis and gives him the bad news. And immediately after the declaration happens, you see people kind of start to group up into their little cliques, and immediately you will see that Ethan, Virginia, and Frederick Mason all kind of come together, and they're talking. Their ghouls are within earshot, but kind of in a second ripple around them. And then each in turn will say something to their ghouls, and then they make their way out of the club itself.
Who are those other two?
The names that I gave you?
Yeah.
Virginia Hope Colson is a Ventrue, and Frederick Mason is another Ventrue. He was one of Manny's whips. He might be one of Green's whips now.
Okay.
But Frederick Mason is another Ventrue like Otis. He is kind of blue collar, made a name for himself in the boxing circuits. So he's a bit of a bruiser. He's not a typical kind of banking Ventrue. So they kind of talk to their ghouls, and then they all three leave. And there's a little clique that you can see is formed with the trio, but you will also notice that there's a moment where it looks like the girl notices something and starts making her way in that direction. And as she stops at the edge of the camera's angle, it looks like she's talking to somebody. There's a hand.
Can't see.
Yeah, and there's a hand that kind of just places itself on her shoulder.
Any identifying rings or anything like that on the hand?
Bear.
Can
Long
Kathy
sleeve.
recognize it?
No, it's not strange. It's a regular
Is
looking
it
hand.
male or female?
It looks male by the little bit of darker coloring on the back, almost like it's a little bit hairier than regular. And then the hand comes up the neck to the face, and she nods and steps into the blind spot. And that's the last time code he has for her currently, as he's looking at the video. But he leaves a pause there. He's like, I've been looking at the video and fast and 2 times its speed, using the reflection to work on my calisthenics and my ability to dodge Miss Carver's onslaught.
We know who was upstairs. Correct. Can we eliminate people that we know where they were?
We can also eliminate females.
For the most part.
I've been doing just that. As they become visible or become or leave the frame, I've been marking who we have and have not had.
The sleeve, is it like a nice press suit kind of looking like, or is it looking more raggedy kind of? Kathy knows how the questions to ask.
Yeah, you do. Let me find out. What did I write down about this guy? Perfect. It looks somewhere in between. It's not fancy like Ethan was just currently looking, but it also isn't disheveled like how Erickson or Andreas kind of walk around in existence. There's no cufflinks. It looks like it's a store-bought kind of fancy shirt.
All right.
Not
that
tailored.
Puts out most of the Ventrue.
Yeah, not
That's
tailored.
why I said.
It definitely is not a
or Toreador.
A specifically made garment. It is something that is generic and bought.
Now, where this disadvantage point is, what's around it?
It is the corner, right where the balcony kind of ends and the first of the private room starts.
Is there glass against the balcony?
Balconies on the other side. They're opposite of each other.
No, I mean like the balcony that looks down on the first floor, like the railing that you have to protect people from just falling into the first floor.
Is there glass?
I would assume there is. It's the 80s. Would there be glass, or would it be fancy kind of
The reason why I ask is if you can get
reflections.
Is if we won't be able to get like a clear picture, but we'll get to see like color hair or if he has a bald spot.
There is a moment where you can catch her reflection in something, like the lights hit the. Do you have marble flooring on the second floor? Would
maybe,
you have something reflective like that?
Probably.
So you'll see that she has a reflection in the pool, in the floor, like some kind of shadowy reflection, but there isn't one attached to her.
What do you mean?
Like
there's not for the guy.
Okay. Where there should be some kind of connection, a shadow connection from the arm touching her, like there isn't one.
Hey, occult dude over there in the corner. You want to run some dice?
Oh, I don't think I need to do that.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, I mean, whether he knows that or not.
Right, yeah, let's see. I'm pretty sure I know that, but let's see.
Yeah, I know too.
Yeah.
How much interaction have they had with the Sabbat? I know they've been around, but they know about the Shemitzi and the changing, but do they know about the La Sombra and the shadow?
Even with Carl taking half on his intelligence and occult roll, that's enough. If there is no reflection, and even then, like the clan weakness, the clan flaw for the Lasombra don't mean that they automatically lose a reflection; they just distort it. This fits up that alley.
Yeah.
This could be a Lasombra. Or somebody that just doesn't give off a reflection.
Yeah, because that's just casual.
And
it's not.
Lasombra,
it's a rare flaw, but it does exist.
Yeah, it's likely Lasombra, but it could be somebody else.
Yeah.
And Lasombra have dominate.
Lasombra do have dominate. They do have dominate.
But why is their vitae not showing?
Well, that's a whole nother issue. We don't know that that's a thing. That was just something he was worried about.
Mm-hmm.
But, all right. So what Lasombra do we know that were there that evening?
Look, Kathy's learning things.
Yeah. He looks through the paperwork for the Elysium census. Does not have any Lasombra on the list.
Of course it wouldn't. He wouldn't sign his name in the guest book next to a killer.
And it might.
Yeah. But he looks at you. He's like, as far as I know, also Miss Larson, we don't have any Lasombra among the tower.
It wouldn't be towers.
We have Samitsi, we have the Banu, and we have Ministry, but we don't have Lasombra.
Oh, look at the British doing what they do best.
Do we know of any in town? In Kaiser, or
I can ask around.
I take it she hasn't heard of any.
No. The only thing that comes to mind when you see that is that around the end of the year, there was talk of some strange masked character in the city calling himself the Plague Doctor. But they've never had a clan attached to them. So it's one of those things where that's the only one that's not accounted for that was in the city.
Question.
So,
the names in the book, do they all check out with the people?
Yeah, he'll point them out. Like, he'll go back to the beginning, he'll point out Otis, he'll point out Julian, Eleanor, Richard, Geraldine, he'll point out Marcus when he comes into the frame.
All right, so we didn't use a fake name, we just didn't use any name.
No.
Okay. Can we... Ooh.
But once you say that out loud, he looks at Ivory. If that's true, then that means that he used his domination on several of us.
That is very possible.
I don't have any recollection of that being used on me, man.
Oh, wait, he's a ghoul. Can't you check to see if he had some kind of weirdness from another person? Do you bite him?
How is that done? Is that a Tremere thing?
It is a Tremere thing to test whether or not there is vitae in someone's blood.
Yeah, we have to have their blood.
Well, that, and if they've been dominated, how do you...
Dominated? No. That's not a Tremere thing.
Well, then how did he know she had been dominated?
He said she was lost time in her memory. That's memory wiping stuff.
Do you remember losing any time?
I think I do.
He looks at you, and Benjamin kind of sits up. I mean, not huge chunks, ma'am. I always attribute it to just the stress of the job. I forget things here and there.
Kathy gets behind Ivory. Traitor.
I mean, I can certainly go it because with Dominate 3, you can tell if there's been memory wipes, right?
I think so. I think you can.
I think this guy's giving out information. Traitor.
I mean, it wouldn't be by choice.
Still traitor.
He's a human.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I didn't come around for the last month, y'all.
He's a human. What is it? The Forgetful Mind or Submerged Directive?
It was Forgetful Mind. Should be able to do that, at least in versions.
I mean, you can also do it on him and see if it has the same thing.
Yeah, it doesn't let you sense. It just lets you wipe or add a memory.
Why don't you wipe it and see if it seems like the same thing?
Yeah, just wipe the memory from him. He
My
shouldn't have.
memory. Listen, formatting a hard drive is not the same.
Yeah, when he's doing an investigation, yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be when he was trying to take my cats.
Would Scry the Soul show anything?
Ooh, there's a good question. Scry the Soul.
It's a new trick.
Yeah. Emotional state, resonance in the subject's blood. The subject is a vampire. The subject is under the influence of blood sorcery or other magic. Yeah.
Ooh, that sounds like a yes.
Yeah.
Go
All right.
Snaps for you, babe.
Yeah.
So, rouse check. Got a 7.
Okay. So you don't get hungrier.
Nope. And
Intelligence aspects.
yeah. So 5 dice.
Composure subterfuge. Ooh, rolling against
And
your own
she will
rules.
actually tell Benjamin, I'm going to see if I can see anything.
Understood.
You should also probably do it to Billy.
Don't do it to Billy.
3 successes.
3 successes. There's no lingering effect of sorcery involved. But there are these tendrils of black that are slithering through his aura, mostly around his head and his kind of like bust, his shoulders up. And the moment that they're perceived, they vanish. They scatter.
Did you feel anything?
No. I thought that I would, but there was nothing. If you hadn't told me, I wouldn't have believed that you had used anything on me, ma'am.
There was something there.
What was there? Share with the class.
Has she seen anything like that before?
Nothing has ever popped like that to Ivory.
I mean, it is a new trick.
Well, actually, she's had that for a while.
So it's one of those things. You remember something like that?
Yeah.
Was it? Did you tell us?
Yeah, she's going to try and explain what she saw.
Okay.
Kathy's gonna ask, was it dark like shadows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like my office gate shadows?
No. Like the shadows that Carl has seen when Oblivion is tapped. The
What's
underworld.
Ooh. There's just a lot here, guys. I think I'm gonna put in my time. I'll catch you in another month.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, then.
No, I'm joking. Wasn't Tulip in the underworld?
No.
Damn, that was close.
Tulip was not in the underworld.
All right. So I think this same person did do something to you.
I apologize for anything that I might have done or said then, ma'am.
Like taking my cats?
No, that is part of our rules and regulations.
Could have said sorry.
Health violations.
I'm sure that's the reason why you did it.
Of course.
Lies. I will use insight on you.
He's probably not lying.
No. No.
So if there is someone using the club to nefarious reasons, we need to figure it out. We need more cameras.
Cameras are not going to help.
He knew all the blind spots.
That's the point.
Yeah, well, that would be erase the blind spots.
What? I barely heard you.
That means that he was here when they were installed.
Not
you can
necessarily.
You can also scope. Cameras are not exactly subtle.
He could have asked Benjamin where they were.
Also true.
Oh, you only have the bugs upstairs, right?
No, there's no bugs anymore.
Oh, well, I wasn't here for a month. I apologize.
Oh, we got rid of those months ago.
Yeah.
But
No, we have cameras, though.
If you have cameras installed, can't they just do the same thing again? Which is ask a human where they are. I think you might be better.
Is there a ward against that kind of thing, against dominance? She says to Carl.
You might want to shut down your club.
What?
Yeah. Hey, just shut down Elysium. We don't need it anymore.
Well, while there's a leak, because you don't know what they're finding out. This guy could be spreading all the news. We talk freely in front of this fucker.
You don't. But you will see a young woman come up. Billy kind of knocks on the office, security office door. Miss Larson, there's a girl here to see you.
Okay.
And
keep looking, and let me know what you find.
If you remember.
He smiles. But you see a young girl, maybe early 20s. She has a sheet of paper in her hands that she's kind of holding nervously, and she hands it to you. At the top, it's a resume. At the top, it just says Virginia Fowler. And
why is that name so familiar?
Among the names of the places she's worked, the last one is Sangria. And she looks at you. She says, Miss Larson, Mr. Garza asked us to make sure that we ask around. I've been to Mr. Bradley's place and Mr. Thompson's place. So I'm just doing my due diligence, making sure that you know that I'm available if you need work. I'm trained at the bar. I'm trained in serving. I thought that I had come by on Friday, but I guess I just spaced out and
do your thing again.
Didn't make it out. But I'm here today.
Yeah.
Just wanted to hand this to you.
Do your thing again. Do your thing again.
Yeah. She will scry the soul.
Right just stay right there.
10 on the rouse check.
Nice. Yeah. No hunger. She's not a human. She's not a vampire, so I don't get any hunger dice.
Two successes.
There's a moment where you see out of the corner of your eye, you don't see anything when you kind of look at her. And as you're about to look away to give your findings to Carl and Kathy, there is just that little wave, that little miasma of black, then just disperses.
Does she get that she's not quite human?
With 2 successes, no.
No? Okay.
I think you need 3 for...
Did you see it?
For anything supernatural. Oh, yeah, because the margin. You didn't have a margin. Yeah. Because I also got 2 successes, so there was no margin.
Ah.
But I gave you the tendrils because it's necessary to push the story forward. You're welcome.
Ah, well.
I am benevolent.
I'm a benevolent god.
Although I thought with humans I could do it without. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Where'd you come from? Where's she going?
Yeah.
Cotton Eye Joe.
Joe, yeah, there he goes.
Oh, jeez.
Into the sunset.
So, and she takes the resume.
Thank you.
And so, are you worked at Sangria? How
Yes,
much
ma'am.
do you know?
I know enough. Mr. Garza was very forthcoming, and I was around him and the evening manager, Mr. Wood, a lot.
Eric?
Yeah, Erickson Wood.
Strange.
I mean,
So, where are you coming from now?
Well, Sangria is closing, I believe.
It is, yes. Mr. Garza's final request was to liquefy his assets and hand them over to the trusts that Mr. Coulson, Mr. King, and Mr. Corchigan are in charge of.
So, where are you coming from now? Home?
Yeah.
To the bus stop?
No, I drove here. I have a car. I can bring myself to work if I need to. It's not
Now,
a big car, so
Friday
I
you
can't
said-
do pickups or anything like that.
Now, Friday, you said you had some missing time. What do you remember first, and what do you remember last?
No. This is a different person.
Yeah, she never
She
said
said that she had forgotten. She said she had forgotten.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So I'm trying to figure out
Slipped her
when it
mind.
started, when it stopped.
Yeah, it
So
slipped her mind.
you came to the club on Friday?
I thought I did. I wanted to, but I guess I was tired after meeting with Mr. Bradley and Mr. Thompson. I just kind of came to at home
What time was it?
around 1 o'clock.
And you met Thompson and Bradley at what time?
Met Mr. Bradley at 10. We talked for a while, and then I met Mr. Thompson at 11, and we talked for a while.
then
So I guess we must have talked
you were-
for a longer while than I thought.
So you don't remember anything in between that, like what you talked about or what you were doing, asking for a glass of water, going
Just
to
got a tour of their places, got the rundown of what was expected of me, should I be hired, and things like that. I know that this is the busiest of the 3 places, so I'm not going to assume that you want to give me a tour or give me a rundown, so I just wanted to leave my resume with you, Miss Larson, and you've come highly recommended.
You don't happen to have a picture? We usually like to have pictures with our resumes.
Oh, I don't.
Oh, we have a
no,
camera here, though, don't we?
Yes, would you mind?
Not at all.
So she'll go and
We get so
grab a
many
camera.
applications. We
Mhm.
we want to make sure we remember, especially someone who sticks out so much like you. You've done great for your interview.
I don't. What do you mean sticks out? I don't want to stick out. I'm not.
Well, you want to.
I'm nothing special.
You want. Well, if you want the job, you want us to remember that we had this conversation with you. So that's why we take the pictures to go along with the resume.
So she'll take
I
a
don't-
she'll come back with the camera and take a picture.
Yeah, she holds up her hands. She's like, I don't feel comfortable anymore with my picture being taken. Sorry.
Oh,
I got you. Nope, I got you.
Um,
Wait, I got you.
sorry to
This
hear
way.
that.
no. And she
Nope,
just
persuasion.
puts her hands over her face.
Deal with that. Can I persuade her?
No, it's fine. It's fine.
You're the one that dissuaded her.
My bad.
So
I tried.
yeah, but she puts her hands up in front of her face. You know what? Just throw away my resume. Sorry, I shouldn't have come here. I knew I shouldn't have come here. And she makes her way out.
Why do you say that?
Doesn't turn around.
See if she's like got fear suddenly, like inside her.
You can do that, sure. See, what's your wits and insight? 4. Yeah. Good times. So 3 regular, 1 hunger.
Yeah, the hunger 8 is so 2 8s, a 10, and a 7. So pretty good.
All right, all 4 successes. It looks like she was suddenly afraid to be around you. It's almost like she sensed the predator in the group. She did not want to be around it.
Which one?
Apparently, Kathy.
No. So, but as she leaves and you guys are left to figure out what is going on in your own backyard, I think this is a good point to call it for tonight, guys.
Yep.
Good shit. Look at you getting more and more threads to pull on.
Yeah, that seems to be the way this works.
You got to keep several plates up in the air, guys. It's not fun if it's just the one, because you know what's going to happen. But as always, I want to thank you guys for coming back. I hope you guys are having a good time. Thank you to the audience for joining us as well. And as always, I want to give you guys a chance to plug whatever you're up to. So we'll start with you, Carl. What are you up to? Where can people find you on the internet if you want to be found?
As an advocate on Twitter, we're still kind of, I guess, on hiatus with Movie Bros, but otherwise, just doing my thing here.
Okay, perfect. Ivory, what are you up to and where can people find you online if you want to be found? And let's put the link up.
Yeah, so I'm making dice. So everybody was using my dice tonight, I think.
Correct.
Yeah. And so everybody had character dice. It's Lockjin's dice on Etsy. And I think
they're fancy as fuck. I'll tell you what.
Oh, yeah. Good shit.
Yeah. So, all handmade and nothing from China.
The Chinese chicken. Kathy, what are you up to? Where can people find you online if you want to be found?
The only thing I can say is that she has amazing dice, and there's a reason why I was rolling so well.
Yeah, for a fact. Oh, excuse me. So yeah, check that out. As always, please know that it is okay to not be okay. And if you need help and you're watching live, there are phone numbers going up in our Twitch chat to help you find the resources you're looking for. Because the scariest part is always taking that first step. So just know that there are people out there who want to help you, and it is okay to not be okay. And if you feel like you need help, just know that there are resources out there for you. If you're not in the United States or you don't do well with phone calls or text messages, there's a link going up as well for findthehelpline.com to help you find the resources in your area or resources that will make themselves available to the mediums that you find most useful. So please take care of yourselves. If you're a friend or family member of somebody that is a strong or happy-go-lucky personality, please check in on them. Some of the strongest people need the most help. And so, a little hello or how are you text can definitely change the trajectory of somebody's life. So please do that for me. As always, Mondays are for Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition. Tuesdays are for Legend of the Five Rings or Werewolf the Wild West. And Thursdays are for 7th Sea or Old Gods of Appalachia. And if you want to catch me as a player, you can swing over to McStabber Studios on Twitch. You get to see me on Wednesdays be a La Sombra in their Dark Ages campaign. That is a lovable scamp and has never committed a war crime in his life. 100% good guy.
Not a war crime the first time.
It's not.
He's not hanging out at my club, is he?
No.
Okay.
The Geneva Convention hasn't been written, so there are no war crimes as far as I'm concerned.
Awesome.
So, until there's a rule, you're not breaking anything. But as always, thank you guys for being here. Thank you, the audience, for joining us. We will see you when we see you. Have a good night, guys. Bye.